Last time on Suikoden, we helped save the bandits we very nearly sent to their deaths, and now we're going to report back to Odessa as soon as I figure out how to clock. Alright, so, since we've cleaned up our mess, that means we can go home now, right? What, do you need me to help fix that open sewage? 'Cause I got nothing. No, not the incredibly important thing. Yes, the incredibly important thing. Oh, you know, it's just a spear that's always on fire. I guess flaming spears would be pretty cool, maybe? Oh yeah, by the way, they're dwarves. Oh, you have a secret factory? Why didn't you put that in your sewer? I mean, we kind of already have. I mean, granted, this is more of a direct betrayal, but, you know, Grady did kind of go back to Craze, so I don't think it matters either way. Well, they want the truth, and no more lies, I know about that. Smelled with your own nose. And smell. Cleo does a fist pump over there. Hell yeah, rebellion! Cleo's already got a headband. And a leather jacket. And a motorcycle, she just doesn't want to keep it down in the filthy, disgusting sewers. We have gone over that, actually. Oh, believe me, I know where Mount Tigerwolf is. We've been there before. I mean, Humphrey could do a good job. Sanchez, probably less so. But I think Humphrey's got this, right? Oh, right, he doesn't speak. Alright, and we're joined by the leader of the rebellion. Didn't think that would happen so quickly. Don't worry, she'll be in the back row because she's a long-ranged unit. Still got nothing to say. And you still just tell me where stuff is, and I don't need to know that. Though that being said, if this is your first time playing, you're probably not all that likely to be going that way before this point, so, you know, they wouldn't want to tell you that sort of thing. Anyway, Odessa starts with a level 5 weapon, meaning we can't upgrade her, unfortunately. She also starts at level 6, so she'll be gaining experience pretty quickly. As I said before, she's a back row unit. Not got much armor. You're definitely going to want to go buy some stuff for her. I believe the Circlet is a female-only defensive equipment. Anyway, if I could say that correctly, the Circlet is pretty good, and you should buy it for Odessa. I did all that off-screen as per usual, so we can go right off to Mount Tigerwolf. So, while we have already collected the treasure, this time around we'll be able to fight the enemies, including those terrifying murder rabbits. Oh yeah, it's no problem. It's a really short dungeon, actually, especially since we don't have to go all out of our way to get the treasure. Alright, so, indeed, treasure's gotten. Nothing too important up here, if you'll remember, except the clone crystal. It is a good thing we got that so early. Anyway, we've got killer slimes. I think they can actually attack back row units because their attack is that they sink into the ground and then rise up in front of a character, but I don't remember seeing them do that. They're fairly slow and clearly don't have much HP, so that was an easy battle. They can actually drop water rune pieces, which, like lightning rune pieces, can be equipped to weapons to increase power and, give your weapon a water effect, etc., etc. Not like a cool visual effect, unfortunately, even though that would be awesome. But yeah, it's just for damage stuff and whatnot. I believe I got 2 by the end of this dungeon, so they drop it fairly frequently. So if you want one of those, you'll probably get it. Anyway, there are 2 more enemy types, I believe, on this mountain, one of which we've seen before. Slasher rabbits are actually pretty tough. They've got a surprising amount of HP, they do a fair bit of damage, and they can throw their axes to attack back row units, as you can see there. So, yeah, and of course the fact that they come in groups doesn't help. I was only able to kill one of those in a single round, so honestly, you probably want to focus a little bit more. Obviously, not on like one unit at a time, because that would just be extremely slow, and battles in Suikoden are much better when you diversify your attacks so you can do stuff like this. Doesn't that look a whole lot cooler? Of course, healing does interrupt it, and damn, those rabbits are fast as well. I mean, I know I kinda sounded like I was joking about the murder rabbits, but like, they are legitimately tough. They don't give that much experience either, do they? I mean, Odessa got a fair bit, but that's just because she's a much lower level. Not too much money either. Tough enemies with not too terribly much of a reward. Though I guess they're probably one of the more experience-heavy enemies on this mountain. Oh, hey, how's it going? I was wondering who lived in that house. No, we're almost done with the dungeon, actually. It's fine. You know, all those bandit rabbits. They are actually effective highwaymen. They've got a very efficient system. They've killed hundreds. They're rich. They live like kings. Really? This is the one time you're gonna listen to Victor Gremio? Really? No, we're gonna go on. Me and the characters who aren't that lazy are going to finish this dungeon and be back to see you later. Guys, there's no dungeon left. We're basically finished. Guys, come on. Alright, well, I guess we'll be continuing on the dungeon on our own. I'm going. I can go solo. I don't mind. I'm a little more powerful. I think I can take the rabbits. No, we're gonna do this, really? Okay, then. Well, I mean, I will get suckered for tea, I'll admit. Not if it's bitter. I'll never have bitter tea, ever. Well, okay, you make a pretty convincing argument. I'm not going to reject tea that much. Just once. Specifically, I mean tea used by Robber and possessed by them. It's known in other parts of the world as, just go to sleep so I can take your money tea. But really, that's a little too on the nose. I'd like to remind you this is all your fault. Not mine, at all. Well, looks like we're all dead. Well, if there is any silver lining to this, it's Victor's on his back sprite. It is pretty great. Just Victor on his ass. Just resting there, having a good time. I'd recognize that back sprite anywhere. Ah, so it was a poison because we needed an antidote. For a second I thought we were just sleeping, but no, apparently he was just going to kill us. Well, I mean, Ledon did. Well, I mean, we're not dead, but he did poison T, so yeah, I think we'll take you up on. Come on, Odessa. I mean, I don't mind you being nice, but come on, poison tea. That's like the worst crime. Nothing is worse than poisoning tea. Hold on a sec. I got a book of crime here. Oh, yep, right here. Number 1, poisoning tea. All right, take his head off. That's a weird way to snore. What about you, Victor? Victor snores angry, I see. Gremio has that vanilla snore. And, same for Cleo. Alright, I guess our guardians are boring. They don't snore well at all. I'll never poison tea again. Now, that stew I have on perpetually in the corner there, yeah, I'll poison that to my heart's content. But tea? No. I'd never do that again. Most of us are just joking about it, and then we get arrested for joking. I mean, I hate the Empire, but I suck. Well, I mean, we did get suckered last night. I mean, isn't everyone in a bad mood when they wake up? Is it possible to not be drowsy when you wake up? I need to learn some secrets. Someone who's not Cleo, tell me how sleep. How do I do that? Alright, and we can continue. What a fun detour where we were almost killed by a bandit. Anyway, there is one more enemy type on this mountain, but on this pass through I didn't find a group of it, and it is kind of important that you find a group of it, otherwise there's no point to actually fighting it, really. Well, for me, anyway. You should fight it for money and experience. But I won't show it. Anyway, though, yeah, that's all we needed to do. That was the end of the dungeon, so good job, guys. You almost got us killed for nothing. And here we are in Suikoden. So, we need to meet in an inn, but if you remember, this town is tiny and we didn't actually see an inn sign. That being said, there are 3 buildings, one of which we've been to, one is an item shop, and one is a fairly detailed building, so I think you can guess where we need to go. Oh, you know, corruption, more corruption, and a lot more corruption after that. It's kind of corruption all the way down. she doesn't have to be senile to talk about the Emperor all day, she's just fixated. Alright, so the nice thing about this item shop is that it sells a water crystal, which is our first healing rune. We definitely want to buy one of these. I believe it does have some other attacks as well, but yeah, healing is the most important thing. It's actually not a bad rune for Cleo since she does have so many spell slots, but if you want to keep her as a magic attacker, then just keep fire. Well, that's not true, but whatever. Okay, bye, dude that gave me a rune early on. Oh well. Anyway, yeah, obviously this is the inn. Don't know why it doesn't have a sign, or why they even have an inn. There's like no people coming by here, but whatever. How has it stayed in business? It's been here for years with no customers. It's gotta be pretty nice. Oh, we've done no work for years. We've just relaxed here in this paradise that is separate from the rest of the horrible, corrupt capitalist society. Alright, well, everyone else snores the same, so let's just go talk to Odessa. Don't you just hate it when your heart-to-heart is interrupted by a ninja? He's the only person in the world that doesn't keep pigeons. Also, I have an innate pigeon sense. If there's a pigeon in the room, I know. Well, says you. I have to sleep right next to Victor, who always angry snores. It was nothing like that. We were just speaking to a ninja, which as far as I know isn't a euphemism. But if it is, we should just tell Gramio that we were talking to a ninja and gave our plans to him, which again, pretty sure that's not a euphemism, but I could be wrong. Anyway, we have to backtrack to Lennon Camp, so we're just gonna skip over this mountain. Except, of course, for these guys. Yeesh. Certainly took long enough for a pair of these guys to appear. Anyway, giant snails have a fair bit of HP and a fair bit of attack. However, they are also very slow enemies, meaning if you encounter only one, you're just going to destroy them. I fought plenty of single ones on my first way up the mountain, but as I said before, not much of a point in showing them. And they're still not worth much. I think they were worth a little less than the rabbits. I forget. Either way though, yeah, that's all the enemies on top of the mountain, and since we're pretty much done, we might as well just, walk the rest of the way. I don't need to cut that out. Now, before we return to Lenin Camp, there is one more set of enemies that I've yet to show in the overworld, and it's actually the second weakest set of enemies in the game. Bonbons are only stronger than the Holly Boys we encountered in the Magician's Isle. However, they're also some of the only enemies that Mir and Ted will be able to fight on their own. That being said, they're actually fairly rare. I didn't really see them up until this point, and when I was going up to the mountain the first time, I don't think I encountered them at all, except in like one failed take. So yeah, for some reason, the weakest enemy is fairly rare for me. Anyway, since we've delivered the blueprints, next time on Suikoden... What? Oh dear, that doesn't look good. Oh, this is not good at all, though. Next time on Suikoden, we go check out the Liberation HQ.